Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to the Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the indelible daddy, Charette.
Say what?
Doc G, what's up, sir?
Nothing much. Did you like that, Mike? Indelible.
Yeah, man. Indelible. What does that mean? I don't know.
Unforgettable, Mike.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. You know, first came about with writing. Like, indelible is something like you can't take out of script. So, in the broader sense, it's just something, it is etched in your brain. Usually you'll use the term indelible when you think of something that's just seared, stuck into your brain. And of course, you are the dad that does that to us all, Mike.
That's a fact.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We're getting fancy with our words, listeners.
Yeah, we are.
We're GRE meets the SATs out here. That's
well,
what
Doc
we're
G
doing.
is. I'm not gonna be getting fancy with all 1 to 2 syllables over here.
Mike's like, I promise you, I will forget indelible by tomorrow.
No, it's etched in there.
Okay,
but
good.
Am I gonna use it in a sentence? No.
Use it, Mike. Get out there. Go buy a pizza and be like, this pizza was so good, it has indelible results on my brain and taste buds.
Sweet.
Anyways, Mike, I've got an important story that's happened over the last week that I need to talk about. I was informed by one of my friends they wouldn't be able to do a guest lecture in my class this semester because they're going to be knee-deep at a wedding. That's right, Mike. My heart immediately went out to her. When she said that, I was like, oh, no. Sweet Jesus, I'm sorry. And I was like, who's getting married? And she told me. Her sister, Mike.
Oh yeah. You can't skip that.
No. I was like, oh my God, no.
You're committed.
And then there's so many bad things about this wedding, Mike. First of all, when she told me when she said it was her sister, I was like, oh yeah? She's like, yeah. She was like, I'm the maid of honor. And I was like, oh God, you're the maid of honor? She's like, yeah. She's already gave me like 35 tasks. And I was like, oh no. And before I go any further in the story, Mike, can we just stop real quick and say, we need to update the term maid of honor?
Yes!
Like, you've got the term best man, and then when you go on the bride side, you automatically become a maid. Like, when I hear maid, I immediately think old maid. That's all I think. I just think of a lady with gray hair and glasses in an old lady's dress.
Sweeping with some kind of hay.
Exactly.
Hay-made broom or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I was a lady who was bestowed the honor of being the maid of honor, I would prefer a name like my ride or die. How about that?
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe, I know some of you could find that derogatory. That's fine. Let's just go with best lady. How about that? You got the best man, best lady. How about that? Equals. I just, maid of honor, dumb.
Blam.
But it's just, I think bottom line, Mike, we can say, I don't want to be labeled the maid of honor.
Yeah, no.
You know, I would much rather have a cool term, and best lady to me sounds way better.
I think man of honor would be cool, though.
Man of honor's fine, yeah. Or how about woman of honor?
Of honor.
Or lady of honor. How about that?
Yeah,
that sounds good. Maid?
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. Anyways, Mike, back to my friend. She's the maid of honor. And I was like, then after I went through that, I was like, okay, well, how close is the wedding? Is it somewhere here in Florida? And she was like, oh, no. I was like, where is it? She's like, Colorado. And I was like, what? Now, for you, Mike, that'd be fine. It's not too far away from you.
Yeah.
But, like, what kind of sadistic turd is going to make a bunch of people fly all the way out to Colorado? And, Mike, this is November.
Girl, come on.
Oh.
November.
Ugh.
You're freezing your off in Colorado for a wedding. First of all, who gets married in November? Everything's dying. You're like, hey, congratulations, you just got married. Death. That's it. That's it. Oh, gross. Gross, man.
Death and darkness.
Exactly. Guess what? It's getting dark at 5:30. Like, I automatically would have hated my sister right there. I'd been like, what? You're telling me I have to get days off of work. I have to get people to cover for me. I have to spend all my time and money flying to Colorado. And all of this is just to see you get married. You. Like, that's so selfish, Mike. That is so selfish.
Doctor, when you said my comedian brain, when you said, well, is it local? Or are you getting married in Florida? And she was like, no. And you were like, well, where is she getting married at? And then I thought you were going to say space. I got to go to space.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised, Mike.
What's the difference? Colorado, space.
Some of these people with their what destination weddings?
Yeah, destination.
You know?
Yeah.
Where are we getting met? On Blue Origins. That's where we're getting married. We're going to Blue Origins.
How much is the ticket to get up there?
Get in your pocket. It's $200,000.
$200K, but I'm getting married, and I would expect that you would do the. I would do the same for you.
Me? You wouldn't do this for me. It's just selfish, Mike. Selfish. And then the worst part about this, Mike, I asked my friend, I was like, so your sister's fiance, are they like a great match? Are they super happy? Is it like, perfect, just couple?
They met on Craigslist.
Yeah, well, here's exactly what she said, Mike. Yeah.
Wait, what?
That was her exact response. Yeah. And here's what I heard. They'll get divorced in 3 years. That's what I heard, Mike. Like, and we've talked about it. I don't understand the driving need to get married, Mike. Like, if you want to get married, cool. But, like, I don't understand why some people are just like, I got to get married. It's the number one thing. I got to do it. Like, no, you don't. And I thought of an analogy, Mike. I thought of an analogy for this. Now, precursor to my analogy. This doesn't apply to every marriage. It only applies to the marriages of people that shouldn't be together. Mm-hmm. So only like 90% of the marriages out there. All right? Small amount.
So true.
Now, Mike, do you remember in elementary school when you'd go out for recess and the whole class would like pick teams for a game?
Yes.
Marriage is sort of like that, right? Marriage is like you're picking teams for a game, except every single person is playing their own game, and they just need one other person to play, right? So you're just playing this one game with one person, and they're just looking around like, who should I pick? So you go up to one of these people and you ask them, it's a marriage game. How do you play the game? And they're like, well, it's pretty simple, but the rules change every single day. It's going to be different every single day. And you're like, what? That doesn't seem too fair or easy to play. And they're like, well, you have to accept them unconditionally. All the rules are going to change every day, and they're just based on the other person playing the game.
Yeah,
That's
possibly every hour they might change as well.
And then you're like, okay, how do you keep score? And they're like, oh, there's no score, but you can lose. Pretty much you're going to lose every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't keep score. And you're like, oh, sounds pretty horrible. How long does this game last? And they're like, forever. Oh, this is a bad game. Mike, I don't need to be part of that game.
Mm-hmm.
But then
if you quit, you lose everything.
Well, I was about to say, if we can take it back to the wedding, Mike, then the person's like, wait. What if I told you before the game starts, we have a massive, expensive, unnecessary formal ceremony with lots of forced fun. Now would you like to be part of the game? No. No, the answer is no, Mike. I do not want to be a part of that game. And let me tell you something. Listeners, if you've been nodding your head along with what I've just been saying, you have found the right show. Woohoo! And listeners, if you have been disagreeing with everything I've been saying, then I'm going to lie like I'm in a marriage and say you found the right show.
That's right.
Yeah, you did.
Mike, are you ready to fire up this fantastic show?
Let's fire up this indelible show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Woo! He used it. He used it in a sentence, everybody.
I've been waiting for it. I was like, that's when I'm going to drop it. Let's fire up this indelible show.
We look over at Mike's notes, and it just has indelible at the top of it, and he's like,
Yep.
I gotta, at some point in time, I gotta do this. Mike, we have a great show. My goodness. We have a tremendous comedian on the show, Miss Kristin Key. Woo! She has been performing for over 2 decades, Mike. Yeah. And now she has an army of lesbians at every one of her shows. And I will say that's her words, not mine, folks. So if you didn't like the army, she says she has an army of lesbians. I say it's just lovely folks.
Some
at her
person
show.
had their finger on the report button, and then they're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Mm-hmm. She says it. She actually has shirts, Mike. She has shirts that says lesbian army on them. So I might have to get myself one. They look pretty awesome.
There you go. I like
But
that.
she is going to be in Florida, Mike. 3 shows: Miami, Orlando, Tampa, back to back to back, and then she has another show. We talk about it right at the end of the interview, but she's not in advertising for that one because it's like a closed show. So that show's at the Villages, Mike. The Villages.
Oh, man. I've performed there, and hey, it's a fun spot to perform. It's pretty fun.
You have performed at the Villages, Mike.
I have. Great venue.
You
at
weren't
least the one that I
accosted
performed.
by old, crazy, oversexed people?
No way.
Nice.
I was you know how I don't have the word to use, but I was impressed.
Indelible?
I was impressed by the indelible golf carts.
Ah,
I don't know if that's how it is. But yeah, there were a lot of awesome golf carts. They know how to rig up their golf carts over there.
well, and
the
they
Villages.
I don't know if you know this, Mike, but they, this is pretty broad knowledge, but they show off whether or not they're into different sexual activities on their golf carts.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't paying attention for that. No.
Yeah, so there's different signs, different colors, different things they hang on their golf carts to let you know if they're into swinging, if they're into other genders, if they're into just everything is out on their
Interesting.
golf carts. Yeah. It gets wild down there, Mike.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but hey, great show. We had a awesome turnout, and the food was awesome. They hooked us up. They paid us well.
Not to ruin the interview, but I will say that's one thing we brought up about that is that she tells me in the interview they told her, like the people at the Villages that were setting it up, because she usually has like a 20-minute Q&A section in her show, and they told her, yeah, we're not going to do the Q&A. And she was like, you don't want me to do the Q&A? They're like, you don't want to do the Q&A. Trust us. And I was like, self-awareness. Nice. Mainly, I think for long-winded questions. That was what they were worried about. Folks just, going on and on for several minutes,
Okay.
And they were like, it's gonna be too much. So anyways, I can't wait for you guys to hear Kristin. She's fantastic. Just a great comedian. But Mike, we need to start where we start.
Birthday suit.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
That is true, Mike. I mean, I know you know who this is. I don't know if you know his name, though. I mean, we all know his, like, stage name. And I'm going to give you the stage name and the clues. So, like, I don't think you'll be able to get the real name. So we'll see.
Okay.
You may. Born on August 27, 1952 in Peekskills, New York. Her birthday suit wearer loved comedy and acting from a young age. He was in the National Thespian Society in high school and ended up going to Boston University for acting. After college, he started making appearances on The Gong Show in the late 70s. He joined the Groundlings, working with folks like Phil Hartman. He developed a character while at the Groundlings called Pee Wee Herman, which he went on to become a film, a live action, and a very successful TV show called Pee Wee's Playhouse.
So true.
The show ended because our birthday suit wearer was caught for indecent exposure in a movie theater. But over the last 2 decades, he continued doing comedy and was featured in shows like Reno 911. Sadly, our birthday suit wearer passed away from cancer in 2023. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. I figured. Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens. Okay. I should have asked for initials. I would have gotten the Paul right, but
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
I want to watch that documentary, the Pee Wee Herman documentary.
I've heard it's really good.
I really want to watch that.
I've heard it's all. I haven't watched it myself. You know, I got to be honest. I mean, it's weird because it almost like fit my time of growing up, but I was not a Pee Wee Herman watcher. I found him a little weird anyway. It's like like when I was like 5 years old and the show was actually going on in 1990, I was just like, so his couch like eats things, and this house is too much for me. I don't know. And this guy seems like he might touch my goodies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I mean, you know, you go back and look at it in hindsight, there was a lot of good, like, comedy in it. And that's the thing, is he put a lot of comedy that was above, like, kids-level comedy in those shows. And, yeah, for me as a 5-year-old, I can say, too much of a think piece for me. I didn't get it. I was not getting it, you know? But anyways, happy birthday to Paul. He would have been, 73. And it would have been 73. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to old Pee Wee Herman. Mike, we are going to take a break. We're going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. Back here on the Doc G Show, Spinnaker Radio, WSKRLP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, if we left an indelible memory in the listener's head and they would like to support our show, what should they do?
Best way to support, subscribe to the show. Wherever you get your podcasts, follow the show wherever, if that's the option, and then also leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Leave us a 5-star.
Comments work too.
Comments
Positive
are fine.
comments.
Positive comments.
You want to put a comment on the old, we got a couple comments there on the old Spotify, you know. I try not to look at them. Because if they are negative, then it will crush my soul, and I will not be able to go on with life.
That's a fact.
But the positive ones, every now and then I'll see, and I'm like, hey, that was a nice comment.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, positive comments, 5 stars on the old Apple, you know, comments on, if you're an old schooler, SoundCloud. Give us a positive comment on there. iHeartRadio. You can like it on there. Give us a like on there. You know, whatever your cup of tea is.
Give us a follow on the socials.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Because on the socials, not on YouTube, but on Instagram, we're invisible. So and until we become not invisible, I'm going to claim that we are shadow banned. So we are shadow banned because we're too controversial. The higher ups can't take our negative takes on weddings. They don't want them to get out there.
No.
I'm trying to spread the word on forced fun, and they're like, we can't let people know.
No way.
It's going to hurt the business of weddings. We are suppressing this show.
Yep.
Listeners, don't let it happen. You follow us. You spread the word.
Yeah.
You freaking turds.
Yes.
All right, Mike. We need to thank the regulars.
We do.
Here we go. Let me try to not trip this one up. I'm gonna do my best. Shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Richardson, Texas, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Genoa, Italy, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Columbus, Ohio, Falkenstein, Germany, Jacksonville. No. I'm going to start back up in Jacksonville, Florida. Here we go.
I've never seen you give up.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, there was no, Mike, let's just all take a pause and think of how stupid that fast reading was. Okay.
That's funny.
We're going to start at Jacksonville. Here we go. Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Barcelona, Spain, Frankfurt, Germany, Fort Worth, Texas, Boardman, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Piracai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and St. George, Grenada. There we go.
Nice.
Okay. Just a debilitating crash in the middle of it. But aside from that, it was good, Mike. It was good. St. George still coming out with it. Thank you, St. George. At some point in time, I'm going to try your chocolate. It's going to be delicious. Can't wait. I'm excited about your chocolate. And, you know, if I overcome my debilitating fears of volcanoes, I may come to your island. Who knows? Maybe as long as I have an emergency jet ski to get away from the islands, I'll be there, you know? Wouldn't that be nice, Mike? You just got this, like, just huge, super fast jet ski. That would make me feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, like a rocket jet ski.
Yeah. Yeah, jet skis are awesome, man.
Aren't they?
I love jet skis, man.
Daniel Tosh is so right when he said, have you ever seen somebody not having fun on a jet ski? It is impossible not to have fun on a jet ski. You get on it and you're just like, oh, yeah. And you're just zip-zapping. Oh, my gosh. And to throw somebody off of it, super fun.
Wow.
You got somebody behind you and you just right angle it and they go flying off the side. Good times. Good times. Now, it is dangerous, though, Mike, because you can sometimes throw yourself. And then that's not fun.
Yeah, that's
you
not
try
good.
to throw them, but you don't have enough strength to hold yourself on, and you just go flying too. I've done that back in the day a lot. Not fun. Back in the day, my friend Brian, we used to go over. He lived on the lake, and we used to go to his place, hit jet skis up all the time. Oh my gosh. Super fun. He still does it all the time. He's been doing it for like 20 years on the same lake. Never got tired of it, Mike. Just does it. I mean, that's how fun jet skis are.
That's how fun they are, man. That's a testament.
Don't get tired of it.
No way.
Mike, let's do some 4-star listens. First off, Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to the old Queen City. Still getting a good amount of listens, Mike. I don't know what kind of advertising we're doing in Charlotte, but we're getting some listens in the old Queen City. Miami, Florida, shout out to them. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Yeah, shout out to Amsterdam. Mike, you ever been to Amsterdam?
No.
Okay, I thought maybe you'd stop there, like on some of your European travels, like,
No.
because that's usually a big old hub. You
Be
know?
cool.
Yeah. Next on the list, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Then Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I got to say, Mike, we sort of kill it in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
I love PA.
You know?
Yeah.
And by the way, listeners, I think I mentioned it on the show. It's a commonwealth, all right? So don't say state. It's not a state.
Nope.
4 commonwealths in the United States of America. Virginia, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. It's one of the 4. What does that mean? You just say commonwealth instead of state. That's about it. But still, shout out to the whole commonwealth, everybody.
Yeah.
We appreciate your listens. From Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. There's a little bit of an edge on both sides, but that's almost the whole state.
Yeah.
All the way across.
You know what we're saying.
Exactly. Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to you guys. Here's a weird one, Mike. There were several listens from this one. Bishop Auckland, England.
Oh.
Word.
Yeah. I took a look. It's in northern England. You're getting real close to Hayden's Wall there. Looked cold and gray when I looked at it. Not too surprising. But shout out for you guys for listening.
Shout out.
Keep it going in that cold and gray environment. Munich, Germany. Shout out to Munich. And then lastly, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for all the listens. We appreciate it. You know, it is your show, guys, and we appreciate it. Mike, it's time. We're going to go head off to that interview with Kristin Key right here on the Doc G Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are very happy to be welcoming a veteran comedian. She's been touring around the country, around the world. You might have seen her on Last Comic Standing, Bring the Funny, or you might have heard her podcast, Kristin Knows Blank. She's coming to Florida for Camp Kristin Tour. She's going to be in Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. And good news, we both love cats. We have none other than Kristin Key. Kristin,
what's
how are
up? Kristin Key in the house. Bow, 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 bow. Everybody gets a cat.
I am a big fan of cats.
Yeah, who isn't?
I can't deny it. It's one of those things. They're just furry and fantastic.
They're wonderful, and they don't really care about us. And
no, you know, and that's I've heard you mention this in your stand-up before. How like humans, we like to humor ourselves as dogs. We're not dogs. Like we are cats. Like we have the same sort of attitude. You walk into a room like a cat and go, I don't know if I like these people. I don't know if I want to talk to any of these people. And like, you know, you might talk to one person, you're like, no, I don't like the vibes here. I want to get out of here. And then you tell your friend, I got to leave, like a cat, and you just leave the room. Whereas dogs, they love everybody right away.
Yeah, that's not me. Yeah.
No, I can't do it either.
I want to say I'm a dog. I would love to be like, I love everybody. I'm super friendly. Come pet me. Don't touch me. I'll let you know when I'm ready. I'm going to go take a nap in the sun.
Yeah, it's much better. It fits most humans. I will say, though, I have met some human dog personalities before.
Oh, I'm married to one. Yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah, she's got big dog energy. Yeah, very friendly. Always up for a good time. Always wants to play catch. She's great.
I have one of the guys I work with. I always say he has golden retriever energy. You know?
That's a good friend to have. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he just sometimes though you do have to be like, all right, bring it down one notch.
Down, out of the trash, drop it.
He comes in just a little too gung-ho, and you're like, whew, okay, I'm going to have a panic attack if you keep it this high. You're going to need to bring it down a little bit. But we all need a mix. We all need a mix.
Sure.
But now, you just got finished with a cruise a couple weeks ago.
Did a couple this year. Yeah.
You're getting ready to do another.
Yes.
And so like both of these were Alaska, right?
Yeah, but very different. The first one this year, I did a Caribbean cruise for a company called Vacaya, which is predominantly gay male. And then I just got back from Alaska with a gay male cruise. And I'm about to go on 2 weeks with straight people. So it's very different cruise dynamics.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
Yeah, the straight people cruises are very predictable. I know what to expect. Gay male cruises, all bets are off. They've turned the sports court into a red light district. I figured it's Alaska. We'll all be in like jackets and beanies. Nope, short shorts, maybe a flannel. They look like Paul Bunyan and Magic Mike decided to swap closets. It was really, really fun. Really fun.
I did see a picture you had there on social media of you with like two fellas with like swans.
The Bjork swan dress.
Yeah.
They just wore that out. Like, I think it was like they on straight people cruises they call it gala night, which means like dress fancy. That was their fancy dress. Was they wore the Bjork swan, and that's
a much better fancy dress.
Agreed. Agreed.
I got. So, are you a big fan of doing the cruises?
I used to do them. That was my time I made my money for several years. I was almost exclusively a cruise ship comedian from like 2016 to 2020, and then the world shut down. My calendar got wiped, and during pandemic is where I had to do Zoom shows, Zoom stand-up comedy shows. And I guess when you're staring at yourself, instead of looking at the audience, you go, "Oh my God, is this who I've become? Is this what I am? I'm not, I don't like the way I fix my hair. I don't like the way because on Zoom shows, you dress for yourself. You're like, oh, I like that outfit. I look good in this outfit. When I was doing straight people cruises, I was dressing for the audience. Oh, I don't want them to think I'm too gay. I don't want them to think I'm this. I don't want to think of, And so over pandemic, it just really changed the way I look at myself. And when I came out of it.
Self-reflection.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to try. I'm in my 40s. I want to try one time to do it the way I've always wanted to do it. And let's see how it goes. And before I knew it, I had an army of lesbians coming to shows, and I was like, "This feels so much better." No offense, straight white guy, but I mean, a room full of lesbians at a comedy club is just for me so rare and so exciting. And now it's like my norm, and it's wonderful.
It seems a tad unique. As far as most comedy rooms,
stand-up comedy. Room. I started in 1999 doing stand-up comedy, and back then and for a long time, like if there were lesbians in the audience, they became the punchline for the whole show, and the comic would just like keep ripping on their table and single them out. And so why would you go to a comedy club as a gay person? You're going to be the punchline if they find you. So it's not really a good date night for gays. And so at my show, you being gay is the least interesting thing about you. You will disappear in my audience for being gay.
It's the majority. It is the majority. Well, now
it's fun to have straight white guys because they're in the minority, and I always tell them we're not going to beat up on you either. And at the end of the show, a lesbian will walk you to your car. You are in a safe place.
You will be protected.
The short-haired lesbians got you.
I love it. Well, now I got going back real quick to the cruises. Did you start the cruises out of sort of like you said, it was your bread and butter?
Yeah.
Or was it like necessity as far as like, oh, these are actually paying good bills? Or were you like, hey, I like this, might as well lean into it?
Money. It was money. Yeah, 100%. Because I'd been doing stand-up I started in, like I said, in 1999. And so when cruises came along in 2016, I had like, prior to that, a couple people booked me on clean comedy shows, which I wasn't ever a clean comic, but I did them because they paid well. And so they were like, are you clean? I was like, absolutely. And then I learned how to work clean. And so I got offered these ships, and it's steady work. It's decent pay. I mean, you're gone all the time on cruise ships, but you're getting to see amazing places. And I was like, well, for the first time, at least I can like contribute to because my wife had been the breadwinner. And so now I'm able to like, I can contribute to the family. I'm bringing in an income.
I have money.
Yeah, I have money. And I was like, my entire calendar was full in 2020. And I went on a cruise in February, and my cruise ship was the one that got COVID on it. And they wouldn't let us dock. And we were called the news cruise. And we did circles outside of the San Francisco harbor because they wouldn't let us port because we had verified COVID on board, and the country hadn't really had that many cases yet. And at the time, President Trump came on, and he did a press conference and said if it was up to me, I'd leave him out there. And then morale on our ship just hit the toilet, and it was absolutely horrifying. And then they shipped us off to military bases, and we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And when I came back, the whole country had shut down. And so, yeah. So like the first time I'm like, oh, I have a whole year's worth of work. I came home and I was like, okay, my calendar is empty. What the hell? Like, okay, I can't catch a break. And then, everything worked out very well in the end.
First off, so much empathy from that guy. That's so nice.
Yeah, he really took care of us in our hour of need. That was what you want to hear when you have a ship full of elderly Princess Cruise passengers that are just looking to their guy. And he was like, well, it was up to me. And I know he was making a joke, but it wasn't funny. We were having passengers airlifted off. When you watch people being airlifted off your ship and you go, well, if it was up to us, you lost. Like, we're running out of food, dude. Like, so.
I know you had some time, of course. Now, like you said, because your calendar, like everybody's calendar, was wiped clean there. Was there? I guess what I say was there a bad taste left in your mouth from that? As far as once you were able to book cruises again, where you're like, oh yeah.
I was on the first cruise back. Yeah, the second week, it was a different company. I didn't work for that company anymore. And no offense to them, I'm sure they're doing a great job, but I had a bad taste in my mouth about like me and that company kind of parted ways after that. But yeah, I got offered a Holland America gig. It was the second week they were back open, and I took it because.
When was that?
It was in 2021. It was October of 2021. So like it had been a year and a half since I'd like done any real gigs. I think is like that year, my wife and I talked about it. I was like, I got offered Vegas. And I got offered a cruise ship. And she was like, those are the hot spots. I'm like, I understand that. But, what are you going to do? Like, this is the career I chose. Like, and over the course of pandemic, it kind of like sunk in more. Like, it's not just a job. I really enjoy comedy. Like, because of the comics that found the Zoom shows, we have to have an outlet. We have to have an audience. And we're going to keep writing, whether there are comedy clubs or not. And that was really fun to see. I was really inspired by my colleagues that like just jumped in with both feet to not only like Zoom comedy shows, but also like fun spin-off shows. Like I did a weekly live stream that became but it was just like an outlet to find people that needed entertainment. Well, entertainers needed them right back. And so as soon as it was okay technically to travel again, I was back on the road.
Well, I've heard from a lot of stand-ups, like, tried to do anything they could do during the pandemic, but those Zoom shows, poor substitute for a live audience.
It was different. You have to treat it like a different animal altogether. It's not a live show. So if you perform it like a live show, you will be continually disappointed. Because the first couple I did that. I like stood in my house with a little microphone, was like, hey, and like, okay, this is not an audience because they're not right there. And the laughs will not be instantaneous. So I tried to do like Zoom has backgrounds. I would do entire gags with backgrounds. I did more music. I did more things that like we're in we're in the internet. I can do whatever I want. We can put filters because it's the Wild West here. And the people are like, no, you got to do straight stand up. I'm like, then enjoy being disappointed on both ends. When you have all this at your disposal, your whole job is just to make these people laugh. Or do you want to be a pure comic that goes to bed every night going, well, at least I didn't touch a guitar or an anime or a filter? Well, sleep good at night, because some people found really creative ways to do comedy, and it was really fun to watch. And I watched because I've been on cruise ships so long, I was around other entertainers that were making a living, like magicians on Zoom were so fun to watch because they really leaned into how much technology could provide them with distractions and interesting ways to make close-up magic look even more magical. So I mean, like people that really steered into it and said, instead of it being a hindrance, how can we make this an opportunity? Because it's all you have to do is make people laugh. That's it. That's your whole job. And so if you put more restrictions on yourself, it's going to hurt the show. Just open up to this idea. And it got really fun. I watched some people have some really, really great creative moments through pandemic.
One I point to, me and my brother talk about a lot, actually, is, I love Seth Meyers, hilarious guy. And I think that's what made his show great, was the pandemic, because up until that point, there was almost no interaction with the crowd. He was very robotic on his like delivery. Like it was still funny jokes. They were
He
still
did it
great.
the way that it had always been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we checked all the boxes that were supposed to be checked. Pandemic came, and all of a sudden, all the boxes are gone because now everybody's doing their late night shows from home or from their computer, and so it's like he opened up. He leaned into it and had fun with it.
Yeah, and I mean like, and that's the thing is he's kept it since then.
Yeah.
And now
he got more casual, more conversational, and people love it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so much more like him. And you're like, you can see the authenticity. And it's to me, it's one of those things that like, it actually took me a while when the audience came back. I was like, oh, the audience is back. Like, cause like, it's like you felt like you had been in on this thing because there was nobody there that no one else knew about, even though of course millions of people were watching it. You were still like, oh, this is our thing. And then all of a sudden the crowd came back. You're, oh, okay. I'm just one of these people now.
Right.
But going back, you mentioned you've been doing comedy since 99, 26 years.
Jesus, has it been that long? Yeah. I was 19 when I started. Yeah.
Do you split? Because I think it's fairly well known. At least your fans know. There's sort of a split from when you got sober and when you came out again.
Yeah.
Versus before that time. Do you sort of look back on your career like sort of a pre closeted years and post closeted years?
Yeah, it was the closet, the sobriety were within three years of each other. Everything prior to that, I just like looking back, it was such I guess I was learning the fundamentals. Like I had an act and it checked boxes, but like it wasn't personal. It wasn't there was a lot of like punching down, there was a lot of easy laughs. And so I appreciate those years because it also like I've had a microphone in my hand since I was 19. So there's little fundamentals that now it's very muscle memory to be on stage in front of an audience. It's real difficult to like just trip me up with like, there's stage fright. It's like, I know what I'm doing on stage, but ever since I got sober and came out of the closet, now I actually have things to write about. And I have, I can set goals and achieve them and all the things that you can't do when you're a closeted alcoholic. It really does kind of put it's like an albatross. It just kind of weighs you down. You can't really do anything. I mean, I did the best I could. And like, I still have fans from back in the day that were just like, you're very funny. You're a good comic. I'm like, well, I think I checked boxes. I'm a funny person, but I didn't have the ability to go, I'll be funny every time. There was still that, I hope this show goes good. Because I didn't know, You
couldn't lean on in the realest sense, sort of that authenticity of you, I'm
not present for any reason. I'm not present because I'm drunk, and I'm not present because I'm hiding. Yeah, there's so much I can't tell you about myself. And I'm also hiding the fact that if you knew how drunk I was, you would give me a medal right now. Like that's how I did most of my shows. I'm like, if they only knew how drunk I was, which they probably did. And they were probably like, we're not giving you a medal. Yeah, sloppy.
Now, which came first? Was the sobriety before the coming out of the closet again?
I came out first, and that made, I think, sobriety
easier.
Easier, yeah, because I liked this person and wanted them to live.
Yeah.
And prior to that, no, let's just drink until we die. Why not? I mean, it's dark, but it's so true.
Uplifting message.
Yeah, I did not have, why do you get out of the bed in the morning? I was like, well, to drink mainly, and smoke weed. And then when you have better reasons to get out of bed in the morning, it's like, oh, well, maybe
I don't need to
drunk all day long. Yeah, is actually standing in the way of maybe I could have a fun, fulfilling life.
And I'm guessing like up until that point, you didn't think about getting sober before you came out.
Not once. It never occurred to me that you could quit drinking. It did, because I didn't know anybody
that's a possibility.
Yeah, everybody drank like I did.
Yeah,
and everybody just kept it together. And I'm like, why? And I ended up in jail a few times, in an ambulance and stuff. I'm like, why why is a nice girl like me doing it in a place like this every time? Why do I keep having the consequences? But anyway, I finally there was a lead singer of a band that I really enjoyed. I found out that she'd gotten sober. I'm like, you can do that. And so then like the day that it kind of hit me, I don't know that I can keep doing this. Like it gave me, I think the thought in my head, well, if she did it. And so that's when I, went into like a recovery program, and it was like night and day. My life changed. Yeah.
But now, I mean, I feel like stand-up comics, it's like you said, it's like a split in the stand-up comedy world. Either you're a functional alcoholic or you're recovering. Recovering.
That's what I've found. We're either on our way to recovery or we're recovered. You don't find a lot of people in comedy that just like, oh yeah, I just have a glass of wine a couple times a month. Like, no, you either drink like before show, during show, and after show, or you drink nothing. Like there's
No,
because if you're working all the time and you're like, I only drink when I work, or I only drink, one before I go up, or like one when I come down. For me, it was a constant control and manage. Like, well, now I can't drink on Thursdays because I have to, like, I don't want to be hungover on Friday. But it's like, well, I can have one on Thursday, but then if you have one, you have 13. You're like, shoot,
I overshot my target a little bit.
I always overshot my target. Vegas was the hardest for me because I'd go to Vegas being like, don't drink it till Thursday. Just don't drink it till Thursday. I would get there on Monday. Drink it till Thursday. And then I would get on Monday and then gamble. And then as the week went on, just like the hangover and the darkness and the time you wake up in the day gets later and later. And now you're like going to bed at 6 and waking up at 2. And you're like trying to explain to your wife, or like trying to call your wife at like 9 p.m. to be like, I'm going to bed. And she's like not believing a word of it. Anyway, yeah, for me, it was a real good thing to get sober. I don't have anytime I start talking about stories pre-sobriety, my wife's like, nope, none of them are good. None of them are good. Stop talking, Kristin. You're going to get yourself canceled. Don't talk about that. I'm like, that's not everybody does that.
Hey, you gotta put it out there. It happened.
It's what we do. Yeah. People that cannot safely use alcohol before we get sober are garbage bags and with amazing stories. Like we somehow survive everything and we're constantly in the horrible situations. It's wonderful.
I do love. I think it's one of my faves as far as stand-ups. There, Norm Macdonald. He has.
Norm is great.
He has where he was talking about going to AA meetings and his friends in AA meetings, and like basically anything goes. The most terrifying stories you've ever heard, but then the one thing, they don't use their last name.
Yeah.
Like, my name is Jeff T, and then they go through a horrible story. I'm not telling you my last name.
Yeah. But even if they did, nobody would, like, you don't flinch at these stories because you've heard them. You're like, yeah, who has it? The first time I heard in a recovery situation, like some other lady, she was crying because she was on a work trip and she passed out on a plane and they had to make an emergency landing. And she was trying to go to her job and I was laughing my ass off. And afterwards she was like, what the hell? And I was like, I've been on a work trip and I passed out on a plane and they had to call a doctor. I was like, it made me feel so good to hear you share my story. Like, and then we were like, right here. Yeah. She was like, what happened to you? I was like, I lied and told them I had low blood sugar. And so they fed me cookies. So I got treats for being faced on a 9 a.m. flight. Like,
I got to be honest. I feel I'm going to have to judge the first responders there a little bit. That they didn't have like a blood glucose monitor, or they couldn't smell the alcohol off of you. That they were like, yeah,
they didn't land the plane for me. They just asked, is there a doctor on the plane? Because I had passed out on my way to the lavatory because I wasn't feeling well at 9 a.m. after like 6 screwdrivers. And so whoever came back to check on me, I think it was just flight attendants, were like, are you okay? You've passed out. I was like, I have low blood sugar. And they're like, oh my God. And they didn't ask me if I'd been drinking. Why would you ask a passenger if she'd been drinking at 9 a.m.? Anyway, and I got cookies. It was great.
Anyways, it was a win-win. A win-win.
That was, what's funny? I that was the day I quit smoking. I haven't smoked since that day. That was the day, and I really thought it was the cigarettes that did it.
You addressed one thing. It was good.
Yeah. I was like, I'm healthy now. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Yeah, you actually did it in reverse because normally, that's the vice people hang on to the longest is the smoking. So Interesting. Well, now, if we go all the way back, I mean, you mentioned as far as again, doing comedy since '99. I've heard you say before in an interview that was Susan Gibson, the songwriter and musician. She did a song for the Dixie Chicks. Right?
She wrote the song. They bought it from her. She wrote the song. Yeah, she wrote the song "Wide Open Spaces" years before the Dixie Chicks or the Chicks. Now they bought it from her because it was such a great song, and then they made it like the biggest album they had. That was the title track on it. So yeah, Susan was a huge hero of mine. Still is. She's wonderful.
Now, so you decided to go to her and basically ask, like, how do I become a comedian?
Exactly. Like, she was the only person that I knew in like all of my little Texas hometown that was doing like living her dreams. Mm-hmm. She was not a stand-up comic, but I was like, I'm going to ask her how to be a stand-up comic, because I don't want to be in a band, and so I did. And because I followed their band for like months. I would just go to every show they had. I was that little hanger on just because I wanted something that they had. They had this, nobody else I knew lived that lifestyle, and here they are, from my hometown. And so when I said, "Hey, Susan, I want to be a stand-up comic someday. How do you do that?" And she goes, "Oh, that's so weird. My bass player's brother just opened up a comedy club in Amarillo. You should go talk to Bobby." And that was it. And I did my first open mic night the following Wednesday, and I've been doing stand-up ever since.
How long were you? I mean, had you basically like your whole life been thinking about it, or did you not realize until you saw like Susan and people up on stage like performing that you were like?
That's a tough one because I didn't think it was allowed for me. My dad's a minister, and we come from a very, very religious family where like women's roles are so like clear cut. That's not really what a good Christian woman should want to do.
Right.
Stand up. And so once I like started, I don't know, having to find my own way outside of that super indoctrinated religion, I had to start thinking for myself because they kicked me out. The church asked me not to come back because I was gay, and they thought that I was dangerous to the youth group. And so after that,
so lethal.
But I mean, it is. And I anybody that's going through that or that has gone through that, my heart breaks for you because it is so hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through.
Oh, no, I'm saying it was hard for you. I'm saying as far as them throwing you out, that being a problem, like, ooh, what as far as on their side.
Not a fan. I don't understand it. And as being on this side of it, like if there's anybody who's just like, well, that doesn't align with Christian value. Like I understand the Christian's side of it, but then I don't, because as I was a good kid. I didn't even swear, and so all of a sudden I'm gay, and they were like, you're a bad kid. I had no identity anymore. I had no God. I had no idea of who I am. And so I started doing things that bad kids did. I started doing like drinking and doing drugs. Like I'm a bad kid anyway. I might as well try these bad kid stuff.
Lean into it.
Yeah. But it was a shame. It's but also, I don't know. I mean, it toughened me up. I got to like look at the world through my own eyes and take religion out of it, or that version of religion out of it, and say, well, if you're, unlovable anyway, and you don't have this life anymore, what the you got nothing to lose. What do you want? What would you want to do if this is it? And I was like, well, I guess I want to try stand up. I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to live for. What the And so it really was just like
So it just sort of came out of nowhere. Like, as far as like,
I grew up watching stand up. My dad's a huge comedy fan. So my brother always watched A&E's Evening at the Improv. And so we'd watch that on, I think it was Saturday nights it came on. And so I always thought they were fascinating, like Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell and Paula Poundstone, and how they would get up their giant shoulder pads, little skinny ties, big old hair. But then they would do this, like they were doing a man's job, and they were doing it like a woman, they were the strong women with confidence, and you just didn't see that, and so I was mesmerized by it. And
Wanda Sykes, one of my favorites.
Oh, she's incredible. She's a super nice person too. Wanda's so nice.
She and I tell people
naturally
all the time,
funny. She's just funny all the time.
Well, and I tell people all the time, she has to be. She's the person that discovered Dave Chappelle. She's the person that was like, hey, listen, this guy's awesome. You got to put this guy up. And like, she is. You can tell she's like Dave in the fact that when she goes up, there's no like, it's not like an act. It's just like, she's just going right into it. Like, well, this is my life, and on stage. Like,
she's funny on and off. I have seen her like when she workshops jokes, It's a great like master class in like, in writing, because she'll go up with a notebook, she'll go up with 5 minutes, she'll keep notes of the ones that work, and the ones that don't, she doesn't even acknowledge them. She's like, okay, and moves right on to the next one. She treats it like we should, like a job. You go up and you test material, you pick the ones that work. I watched her like put together like 2 Netflix specials back. I watched her workshop a few jokes off that, and I was like, Jesus, okay, that's what she does. In 5 minutes, she probably had 2 really good jokes, and the rest were just like, just cross them off. Yeah.
It amazes me the still will that I would not be able to have, as far as when everybody just stares at you stone-faced after you do not land a joke. Like, did that happen when you first went up and tried comedy? Did it
I had a real good
sting?
first time. My first time was really good. My third time was awful. Like my first time, I brought all my friends, and so
right,
great time. And then they brought me back to like host immediately. I'm like, okay, my second time on stage, I'm hosting, and it was okay. The late show that night, I just ate a giant and someone actually yelled out, "You suck!" And I introduced the comedian, and I walked out the back door, and I got in my car and drove home, and I didn't introduce the headliner. I didn't close out the show. I did, and then the guy that owned the club was like, if you ever do that again, you're never working here. You cannot leave the building until your job is done. I was like, I was really sad. He yelled mean things at me. I just, anyway.
It usually, I mean, I don't know how many comedians we've talked to on the show that like, that's usually like you said, you bring the posse on the first show, everything goes well. You think you're the king, queen of the world, and then you go back on stage and the support group's not there, and then all of a sudden, ouch.
You got to deal with a Friday second show, and you're green. All you have is like, you don't have other jokes to go to. You cannot ditch a joke. You cannot do crowd work because you've never done it. You are just, it's you and this horrible set that you thought was good enough to get on stage with, and an audience that it's a Friday second show. They're already not supposed to be there. Like the headliner's going to hate this audience. But yeah, it's a character builder for sure.
Well, real quick on, I mean, we were talking about how you got into comedy, and I just saw this because I saw some pictures of you recently at a WNBA game.
Yeah.
And you're a pretty tall lady.
I'm 5'10".
I mean, before I heard you in your stand-up say you were not good at basketball at all, I was imagining that you might be. So did you ever try it?
I was on the smoking team in high school. I was the kid that smoked in my car. Like, I was just like, I mean, I'm like, this nice lady here was not who I was in high school. I did speech and theater, but athletic stuff was just like, no. We were never, we weren't an athletic family. We were musical and personality driven, and Jesus. It was all about Jesus. And
Jesus does not need basketball. There's no need there.
No. Basketball takes away from your time with Jesus.
It's very true. Very true. Well, now, on sports, I did notice, too, just very recently, you were hitting the links with your wife.
Oh, yeah. I'm a golfer now because she made me one. My wife is golf game? It's not good. I don't know what my handicap is because I haven't. I did just start keeping score in the last 5 years.
Nice.
I've been playing for like 15 now. So I usually like on a regular 18-hole course. I'm probably like in the 105s.
Nice.
You know? And so
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I can keep score. I don't lose a ton of balls, and I'm fun to play with because I don't get frustrated anymore. I'm just like. I play a straight game. I don't take a whole lot of mulligans or breakfast balls because I'd like to know where I'm at. Because my wife will be like, just take it, just drop a shot. I'm like, no, because I really want it. And so that's the only time I get frustrated is when I'm just like, no, I really want to know. And she's like, you're in the sand like 7 strokes now. I'm like, well, then I will be in the 120s today. So yeah, I have a really good time. I'm super fun to play with. I don't throw clubs. I don't throw fits. Yeah.
It sounds like we need to play together.
I would love that. I would very much love that. I love to play. Yeah.
I'm right there. We sound like we are at the same ability.
Probably like I always think my score does not reflect how well I think I played. Because I'd be like, I hit some great shots today. And
it's an amazing thing. maybe a little bit like stand-up in the fact that you remember the great ones in your head,
yeah.
and you're able to just sort of drop out. You're just like, oh man, you remember when I nailed that one? That was, and then like you said, your wife would be like, well, you remember when you were in the sand trap 15 times? No, not talking about that.
No, remember the drive? Then I almost chipped in. It like hit the pin. Remember that part, babe? She's like, we got a 12 on that one. I'm like, but I chipped in, almost chipped in.
Yeah, the biggest hit, I've played with a couple of people that are, good. And the biggest hit with those people that are good is when, like, by the time we get to the first green, they've already realized, like, there's no need to actually play with this person. And so, like, I'll chip from, like, 20 yards away, it's speeding by the hole, and they just pick it up and throw it back to me and go, hey, give it another shot. And I'm just like, oh, I've turned into like the 6-year-old playing with this person. That they're like,
letting you practice. That's how Molly puts it. She goes, I'm just letting you practice. She goes, take it again, babe. You got this. You can do this. Take it again. And I'm like, she's been playing since she was 11, so she's very consistently good, but she's not mean about it, and she's not very competitive, because why would you compete with me? We're so different. She's just happy I play with her.
Yeah.
And I finally got clubs that fit. I'm 5'10". I was playing with whatever. My clubs were an inch and a half too short. I just got custom fitted this year. Yeah, they were like, women's clubs are not built for all women, and then men's clubs are not even built for tall men sometimes. I've been playing with men's senior flex clubs with an inch added to them. And
well, I was about to say, when I first started playing again, so I decided to start playing a couple of years ago, because I was like, hey, I'm old enough. This is what older people do, right? You play golf.
Yeah.
And so I started playing again, and one of the main reasons was my dad and my mom decided that going to thrift stores is what old people do. So they have just started going all the time. Right. And I was like, I think I'll give them an assignment. So I was like, guys, if you're at the thrift store and you see some left-handed clubs, because I'm left-handed, and left-handed clubs are much scarcer than right-handed clubs. I was like, if you see some, just buy them. And like next week, my dad had like 46 clubs. He was like, but the great part about it was they were like the most weird hodgepodge old, like some of them were carved out of whalebone. They were just these old, like, I mean, one, not exaggeration, actual wood head that you're just like, and I was like, who gave this to the thrift store? That was like, well, this was my club back in 36. Right. I was playing with Ben Hogan. This was great. Like, just, but yeah.
The war rang. The war is on, and I'm golfing.
I mean, I got one, and that's the thing is, like, my driver, I kept on being like, why is this thing so short? And then I finally looked at it, and it was a senior club.
Yeah.
And so it basically had the length of like a pitching wedge for me, and I was driving with it. Like, I was just down on the ground, and I was like, this is probably not helping me get better, So then I got
I think the regulation bag, I think they only allow 14 instead of 42 clubs. Your bag has got to be heavy as lugging around 50 clubs.
Not anymore. That's the thing, I finally, like yourself, I got a full set. And now that's the problem, though, is now I have really nice clubs.
And you're still...
Well, yeah, and my brother got them for me for Christmas, and he was like, dude, I got you these tailor-mades, and I was like, oh no, and he was like, what? And I was like, now people are gonna see them, and they're gonna be like, oh, this person knows. No, I don't know what I'm doing at all, and that's usually my biggest goal too, is if there are other people on the course and they are watching you hit a ball, if I can look good in those moments, that's all I care. Like, one time
I just don't want to slow anyone down. Mm-hmm. I'm consistently, like, I know, like, I play with enough people now to go, okay, I'm not the worst person playing with us today. Like,
you're
Yeah.
not whiffing it like 3 shots
Right.
and everything.
I used to. I've been there. I've been the person that's like, okay, we've got to. And where the game marshal comes by and it's like, all right, ladies, you're gonna have to pick it up. You're 2 holes behind. You're like, we're playing as fast as we can. I lost 10 balls on this hole. Like I cannot find them anywhere. I'm out of balls. Yeah.
Yes, I have definitely been there. We got to play. Well, I got off on golf there.
It happens. It
Getting-
happens. It's a really, really frustratingly fun topic in sport.
Getting back to comedy. When did the guitar come into play? Was that after sobriety, after coming out? Was that the pandemic? When did it start?
No, it was earlier. It was probably 7 or 8 years in that I really incorporated it. And it was just as a closer back then. It was like before I had a TV credit, I was trying to be a headliner because I'd worked, I'd done an opener, I'd been featuring, and that's what you do. You work in comedy clubs and you just want to climb the ladder. You're like, your whole goal, I just want to be a headliner someday. I want to be a headliner. Then you can do anything. And so I was like, well, I'll put the guitar at the end of my act and that'll give me a big solid closer. And that's what club owners see. If I've got the, 42 minutes plus a song, I'm a headliner. And so that's how it started. And then around the time I came out of the closet, my manager at the time and this other club manager were like, why don't you play more? I'm like, well, nobody wants to see anybody sing. Because I had been told by other people the idea of what a comic looks like. And
singing is hacky.
Hacky. Yeah. Playing the guitar at all is hacky. Like you don't want to be a hack, And I worked with a comic that played guitar. And I was like, don't you worry that people are going to call you a hack? He goes, if they could do it, they would. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, what the heck? Like, it's what the heck? Let me try it that way. And so I told the lady who was telling me, like, you should play. I was like, I don't want to sing the whole time. I feel weird. And she was like, why would you have to sing? Just hold it. And I was like, so then it became like a few years of like just figuring out the balance of how much to play and how much to do stand up. And then it just like became this like weird, like I love to noodle during a joke and it like sets the whole tone of a joke and I can use it for pauses and I can use it for timing and I can use it for effects. And I'm like, well, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? It's like a whole new layer to stand up. You can have songs, of course, but also you can just have a whole different element that brings the audience in. And that's my whole job. I'm just supposed to entertain you and make you laugh.
Yeah. We had Morgan J on the show.
We were on Bring the Funny together. Yeah.
That dude, and we talked about that was the same thing with him as far as his music adding it in, and he held himself back on it because he was worried about that sort of hack label. And then eventually he was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go for it.
He also like I watched his career heavily because he had done my podcast before Bring the Funny. We were on Bring Funny together, and he beat me on Bring the Funny. And so I'm like watching his career after like through pandemic to see what he's gonna do and how he pivots. And I was blown away by his. It's like when you took out all the comics telling you what to do or people in the business like you should do it this way, and you're just listening to fans tell you what you're doing that they like. You're like, holy. And I watched him go, well, people aren't doing this, but they sure do like it. And you're, okay, so now you're not playing for other comics. You're playing for fans. Yeah. And you're playing for yourself. Yeah. And so if anybody just starting comedy, stop listening to your peers because most of them will not stay in this business. Most of the people that are telling you how to do comedy shouldn't be in comedy. Do it your way. Yeah. He
does. I mean, and the results speak for themselves on him. Yeah. It's like, because like I looked at that just actually the other night when he was on the show. I think he had like 800,000 followers on Instagram and like 1 million, which on TikTok, which is amazing in itself. And then I went back last night. It's like, where's he at now? 4.7 million on Instagram and 7.5 million on TikTok. Like, I was like, okay, let's be real. He's never coming back on the Doc G show. But that was still fun. I'm glad. He found his voice. He found his way. Yeah. He found his crowd. He keeps finding more crowds. Like he's very like, he found a really fun new way to do this job. And it's authentic. You can see him. I mean, and that was what I wanted to ask too, because you do a lot of it with the Lesbian Army, the crowd work. You do. It's become this thing, and I think the added guitar the guitar, the more you added the guitar, also sort of correlated with more crowd work?
I started doing crowd work. This was post-pandemic. So this was after I came back, and this was just in the last couple of years. I do a Q&A, and I do it. I used to be in the middle of the show. Now I kind of put it at the end, but I do a Q&A. I stop the show and just take questions because it allows me to keep writing material that doesn't burn immediately by posting the material. I'd like to, I've got a special coming out this year, and hopefully a good chunk of that material has not been seen unless you've been to my live show. And so in order to keep people seeing clips and seeing my comedy, I started doing just like, a Q&A, and we'll take the funniest moments. And then the more you do Q&As, the more fun they become. And now it's just a fun, it's the crowd work part of the show. Like once I say, okay, and we stop, we finish this part of the show, and I go, does anybody have any questions? Then for like 10 or 15 minutes, it's just a free for all of questions and answers and crowd work and it's super fun.
I mean, it seems like that's and I've talked to a lot of different comedians about this, like back and forth. I've had comedians that have said like crowd work. A couple that I don't buy. They say, crowd work, it's the lowest form of comedy. And then I've had people that will tell me that crowd work is essentially, like you said, it's their default so that they have material that they don't actually have to show their real material. So that's, the content that they can put out there. And then I've had people that they outwardly say, like, that's my main bread and butter, like Nate Jackson. That's
Eddie
what
Pence.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genius at it. And Brad Garrett is just at his comedy club in Vegas. He's his act. People come to see his crowd work, and people walk out because of his crowd work. But either way, it's fast and it's in the moment, and it's really, really fun to watch.
It is. I always make the analogy like music. It's like the freestylers of hip hop, the jam bands of rock, the jazz players. Like it's improv, but with one person. And when people can do it right, it's insane. But when
you can get the same levels of laughter and applause that you can get from a joke that you've tested for 6 months, that's what you want. That's what you want, and you do get. It is you're cheating in one way because it's live and they know it's off the cuff. They're more excited for you when you land a good punchline. So things hit harder in an improv moment. And I like to keep it separate. I like to do my hour. Yeah. This is, I've proven to you that I am a stand-up comic. These are my jokes and my songs. They have been written. They've been rewritten. There's tags, there's callbacks, and here's what I'm showing you. And now let's just do. Yeah, let's do the fun stuff.
Let's get loosey-goosey.
Let's play for a little bit. Yeah. But I think if you have to rely on crowd work, you know what? I'm not here to these art. However you make people laugh. I like literally will not tell a comic not to do anything. If you can juggle, put it in. If you can do crowd work, fine. If you can make me laugh by doing the interesting thing that makes you and makes you happy, do it on stage. Because anytime I hear people go, "Oh, that's hacky," I'm like, well, how you do you. You do it. You do a whole hour calling people hacky, make it funny. Like whatever. Yeah. But I mean, I think I used to be more on the like, oh well, yeah, anybody could go up there and point things out about people. But the more you watch it, and especially if you watch it live with crowd work, the more impressive the real all-stars of the craft are, that you're like, wow. They called that back like lightning quick. That's the fun, because I don't like, again, I'm not going to tell people they can't do it. I don't like punching down. I don't like going to audience. I don't like crowd work where you're just like, you just pick people out and make fun. I won't do that. I don't have villains in my show. Like it's just like, not to say, but it's a very safe space. I have a lot of lesbians, a lot of neurodivergent people come to my shows. We have a lot of deaf people come to the shows. It's a very safe place to watch comedy. You will not be the punchline. So that is like, it is like it's a fun little challenge too. Like now we're doing crowd work and the crowd cannot be my punchline. They got to be laughing. Unless they do something that's obviously, whatever. Yeah. They want it to be part of they can be, they can absolutely be part of the joke, but just by being there and being themselves, they will not be a punchline. Yeah. Well, have you ever had to,
Do you ever get those moments, I guess, that the lesbian army gets a little too rowdy and you're like, guys, we gotta, this is getting out of hand here?
It's so rare. They police themselves. They're so like I was at a Brandy Carlisle festival early this year. Girls Just Won a Weekend, and I watched like even Brandy like can walk play, and people will like police each other to give her space. Lesbians are so polite. I was in Seattle though, and when I open up the questions, I always tell people raise your hand, and I can't see you. So throw in a caca, and the sea of cacas as the Q&A went on got so unruly. I couldn't even get questions anymore. It's just like a flock of lesbians flew through. And then people are talking over it. I was like, this never happens. But yeah, we had people got real excited to ask questions and we had too many.
Man, hey, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, now, like you just alluded to, I guess, so you're working towards a special here?
We've shot it. It's done. It's sold. It's just, I can't
announce where it was
I can't announce
sold?
where you're going to see it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, but it's coming this year. So
very exciting.
Keep an eye on my social media. It's called Lesbian Army. It's based off last year's tour. It's a wonderful special. Very happy.
Oh man. Now was this where was it? Where did you do the filming?
We filmed it at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, fun little theater. Yeah.
Nice. And was it multiple nights or was it a single night?
1 night, 2 shows. But there was in my mind, there was a clear better show. So it was.
You relied on that one more.
Yeah. And me and the editor, when we were working together, I was like, you just don't even focus. She was like, there were some good parts of the first show. I was like, I didn't feel like there were. She's like, let me do my job. I was like, okay, I didn't like that first. I liked the second show. That was a good show.
Well, now, did you include any of the Q&A for the special?
Not for the special. It's separate. We had Q&As both shows that night. And I loved both of the Q&As. They were so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to use those to promote the special. So all of it you'll get to see around the same time.
Did you think about doing it, putting it in the special, or no? You just wanted it all
because of the time. The Q&As always are why my show's so long, because I have 60 minutes of material at every, like, this show's a different hour than last year.
Yeah.
And then usually, because like most comedy sets are start to finish with all the comics 90 minutes. It's a good comedy show. I like to perform 70 to 75 of that. And so once my opener is done 10 or 15, that's my 75 minutes. And so for specials, I was encouraged to not go over 60. And that would have cut out 20 minutes of written material. Yeah. And so we'll put it like as a bonus, or people can see it, but the special is the special.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you run the risk. I mean, again, not to go back, but like, that was talking to Nate Jackson, the risk, because he put it in his most recent special there on Netflix, and like, you run the risk of somebody just dragging it out, killing the pace, just like. Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure for that to be like the best crowd work you've ever done. Yeah. Or, like sometimes we'll have a Q&A where we get like 2 or 3 great questions or whatever. And then like, whatever, like the best, I think crowd work for me is when you stay in silly. Don't take them seriously. Always yes and make it silly. It's when someone throws me a question, I try to answer it honestly. I'm like, oh, there went the pace of the show. I'm like, they asked me a question that I want to be honest about. And then I'm like, I should have just made something up. It's funnier if I didn't yes and. I was just like, let's discuss. And that's, that's a room full of lesbians ask each other questions. There's going to be one from time to time that I'm like, oh, that is very insightful that you would ask that. Yes, let's delve, let's dig.
20 minutes later, you got a whiteboard. You're going on.
We're all crying. Everybody's got emotional support cats.
Well, now, did you? I guess one other question about the special. Did you because I know it's a wide, crazy world of the way specials are going now. Like, did you have to put the money up for the special and then sell it, or did you already have a deal in place?
That's what we did. We my wife is a TV producer, and so she's been a showrunner and executive producer for reality TV since she was in her early 20s. And so she directed it and called in a bunch of friends so we had Emmy Award award-winning directors holding cameras. We had like
Nice.
all of our friends are in the business, and so we rented the gear and had everybody come out. We had a really, really fun day
Nice.
because I got to see her and all of our friends from that industry like get to be in their happy place and get to like
Yeah.
see each other. Like, oh, we haven't worked on shows together since we were like young producers, So it was really fun. It was fun to get to see everybody like do what they do so well and get to do it for fun.
I mean, I've asked this with a lot of folks that have done it, but like, is it a little bit of pressure there? I mean, I feel like it's got to be a lot of pressure, like when you're making it up front before you get it sold out.
I mean, there's a risk. You treat it like an investment, like an investment in yourself. You're like, this is something I built. I love that material. I loved that hour so much, and I was like excited to not only put it out but also put it to bed. And then also like if we don't sell it, we'll try to get the money back on the back end. But also it's like in this industry, sometimes it's not as transactional. It could just be, or what we might have to put it up on YouTube, which is a great way to like put a special out. And it always translates into new fans and ticket sales. And so you can't, it's almost like you can't predict how much money's coming, but it's a great investment in your career just to have one and to have it out.
Yeah. It is wild how much just over the last couple of years, like being able to put it out on YouTube has changed. Like,
yeah, people love. I mean, people watch them on YouTube. It's a great. I've seen really big name comics that's how their special is released, and they do very well with it.
Yeah. And I mean, like folks that have been on the show, like like Josh Johnson, Ali Sadiq. It's like you said, that's what they do.
When mine
their
is
thing.
distributed, I guarantee you, after it makes the rounds wherever it goes, it'll probably end up on YouTube as well because it's just silly not to have it there eventually. Yeah.
But listeners, watch it on whatever streaming.
Yeah.
service
Watch it
is.
first when it first comes out. That's when you want to watch it first.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't
It
be
could
one
be
of those
years.
people.
It could be centuries before it ever made it to YouTube. Yeah, you don't want to wait that long.
Well, listeners, you don't have to wait for the special. You can see Kristin here in Florida. You got 3 chances. Miami on the 10th, Orlando on the 11th, and Tampa on the 12th. Now, one thing about that, Kristin, are you flying between those shows, or are you like renting a car?
I think we're working on travel right now. I think we're renting a car. Yeah.
I was about to say, because like plane rides between, that'd just be a pain in the
I think it'd be around the same amount of time. So we're probably going to drive. And then this is not like, we're not promoting this, but I am also on the 14th playing The Villages.
Oh, wow.
If you have anyone, that's it's like their gay organization in the Villages. Put in a request. They're like, would you consider it? And my manager is so fascinated by The Villages. She watched the documentary and she was like, will you please do The Villages and tell me all about it? I'm like, so now I think she's coming on this trip. My manager's going to be with me because she wants to go inside The Villages. And see
Man, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
come see me in Miami, come see me in Orlando, come see me in Tampa. But next time I come through town, I'll have private material about The Villages.
I am, and I do have to say, so I am a professor as well. That's what I do in my time aside from this show.
You got a great professor voice.
Oh, thanks. Well, one of my students, well, not actually multiple students, their internship was with a urologist in The Villages.
Wow, I bet he's busy.
Yeah. Yeah, and their stories when they came back and I was just like, oh God, you stop. I don't need to hear any of this. And they're like, I
want to hear all of it. I'm a curious, pervy person. I want to hear every detail. Boy, if you're a nurse, that's got to be the place to go.
Oh God, I would not be able to handle it. It would take like 30 minutes and I'd be like,
we're not doing a Q&A at The Villages. We are not doing a Q&A at The Villages. And it wasn't my request. It was the people that booked it. They were like, can she not do a Q&A? And I go, did they not want me to do crowd work? And she goes, no, we don't trust our audience. We think that they'll talk to you too long during their I was like, that is fair. Like, do you have a question? Well, it was 1972. Like, they were like, we got some talkers here. We think it would take too much of her time. We're going to ask that she not do the Q&A. I was like, that's the funniest request I've had in a while.
They knew themselves. They knew themselves.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that
no.
trouble.
We don't. Yeah, they're long-winded. I think is how they said. They're long-winded, and it may take up too much of your time. And I was like, okay, no, we'll go straight material.
I love it. I love it. Well, listeners, you got 3 chances. Miami on the 10th, Orlando on the 11th, and Tampa on the 12th. Kristin, I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. It was nice talking to you. We got to play golf sometime.
Absolutely. Listeners, you can buy tickets on our website, KristinKey.com. Make sure you check her out. We'll be right back here on the Doc G Show. Back here on the Doc G Show. You just heard Kristin Key. My goodness, Mike. I would like to apologize to the listeners. I don't know what Kristin handled it like a pro, but I don't know if you noticed, but right when I started that interview, for whatever reason, in the introduction, I said Kristin K. Kristin K came out instead of Kristin Key. And like a professional that she is, she just restated her name and didn't just say, "You just said my name wrong, moron." Instead, she was like, "Kristin Key, I'm here. Yeah." You know? Smooth move by her. Yeah. Nicely done. And badly done by me. I apologize, listeners. Kristin Key, what am I doing with my life? You know? But she, interesting idea, Mike. The whole music in the comedy. Bring in the guitar on stage. I know you had a guitar moment in your life. Have you ever thought like, I should bring it on stage?
No. No, I'm not that good.
You're not comfortable enough with the guitar to do that.
No, I did play. The one time I went on stage with Preacher and I played guitar behind him. That was was fun. We had a good time. Got some pictures of it.
Wow, how long was that? When was that?
Pretty random. Oh man, I don't know, ages ago, Doc G. It was
over a decade.
Yeah, definitely over a decade.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I think it would be cool to use a piano on stage.
Sure.
That's
like
cool.
old what's his face?
Zach Galifianakis, Craig Robinson.
I was thinking Craig Robinson. That's who I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, so they kill it. I think nice.
Well, the thing that I always think, and I mentioned this a little bit with Kristin, is like it gives you control of like the dynamic. Like you can add this dynamic with a musical instrument without having to say or do anything. Mm-hmm. Like you can just add emphasis by slamming down a chord or stopping the music real quick or speeding the music up, and people are all of a sudden like, something's happening, and you don't have to do anything with it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what makes stand-up comedy hard, is those moments.
Well, it's one of those things that it makes it easier for you. It's a nice crutch, honestly. That's the thing. And it's like we talked about with old Jim Gaffigan. Like it can still be your thing. Like you can make that your thing. Like he has his inner monologue voice that is his thing, and that's his crutch. He can go back to that anytime that's not working, right? And with, if you got an instrument, you can go back to that instrument or make yourself feel better when you're like a joke doesn't hit. You can just do a little ditty, and everybody's like, okay.
If Jim Gaffigan's bombing, he's got that inner monologue. I wish I had a guitar right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I could play a guitar in this moment.
It works, man. Another one of my friends died. It's I think it's just it's one of those things that's like it's like Kristin said, like she had that sort of idea of like, is this hacky? Is it not like what a true comedian does? And it's like, well, that's what I want to do, and I'm a comedian, so who gives a like?
Yeah, who cares? There's like Nick Thune, Thick Noon. Man, he's Dimitri Martin. Like these guys get super creative with the guitar. It's amazing.
Well, and just like music in general, it's like, I mean, it's like I brought up with Kristin, I mean, Morgan J that we had on the show, man. His crowd work with the old auto tune, my God. That dude, too, like, I mean, I know I mentioned it in the interview, but he has exploded in popularity. Like, there is no way he's coming back on this show. Like, he is far too popular. Like, I mean, he has, like, it's like 8 million, 7 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah, but Doc J, this show's indelible. He'll come back.
That's true.
That interview was indelible.
Thank you.
He knows.
Thank you, Mike.
He trusts you.
Both were. Morgan J's interview and Kristin's. Both indelible.
Exactly.
The listeners are like, I remember both. Granted, one of them was 5 minutes ago, but I remember both. They were nice. Mike, thank you to Kristin for coming on the show. She was fantastic. It was a joy, and me and Kristin will play golf at some time. It will happen. I am very excited about playing golf with her as well. She sounds equally not as good at golf as I am, and that's very nice. Mike, we need to move on to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C, top 3.
I always get excited about an animal one. It's always fun because animals are fun. I showed just the other day, Mike, I showed students in one of my classes a video of a turtle that I showed you over the summer for no reason. There was basically no reason. I was just like, look at this turtle, guys. Enjoy it. That's enough. But, Mike, we went top 3 animals to go see at the zoo. That is our top 3, and I'm excited about this one. Honorable mentions, I got a couple. Do you have a couple?
I do have 3.
Okay, I think I have 3. Do I have 3? I have 3. Okay, let's just go trade-offs here. My first honorable mention, lion. King of the jungle. You know, I mean, I would put him on the top 3, Mike, but lions, let's be honest, sometimes when you go to the zoo, they just don't give a you know, they're just like they're like a regular cat. They're like, I'm gonna sleep over here and act like you don't exist. And you're like, oh, that's sort of sad. And then you've usually got like the weird viewpoint of the lion, so you're just staring at its the whole time you're looking at it, and you're like, this is a little underwhelming here. This is not indelible. I am going to forget this quickly. So that's they are. If you hit the right point in time though, and you come in and they're roaring, it is one of the coolest things you can see at the zoo. But that's why I had to put them down. There's just a lot of downtime with the lion, so you don't know if you're gonna hit it right. Okay, your first honorable mention, Mike.
First honorable mention would be llamas.
Oh yeah. Now I became a little what would be the word? I guess like I was exposed too much to llamas because I near my school there was a llama farm, so like I could see llamas anytime I wanted. So they lost a little bit of their coolness because I could just go check them out anytime. But they definitely are some kooky looking characters, and they're fun.
They are.
They're fun.
And you can get really close to them.
You can interact.
You can interact with them. Yeah.
They will let you interact. Now you do have to. I will warn the listeners. They can spit at you, and they might start chewing your shirt if they like your shirt. And you can wind up with like literally a half a shirt if you're not careful. So just know, if a llama wants to get you out of its safe space, it will get you out of its safe space. 'Cause there's a reason they're guard llamas, everybody. There's a reason. Mike, my next honorable mention, red panda. Red panda. As we've talked about before, I love red pandas. They're like a mix between like a raccoon and a regular panda. They're just little fuzzy creatures. They're awesome. They're super cute. The reason that I put them on the honorable mention, though, they're pretty small. And so a lot of times they can hide in their exhibits. So then you go and you're like, red panda? Oh, there's nothing in here. And then you look in the little hole in there and they're just curled up taking a nap. And you're like, and then
Come on out.
you got nothing to watch. So it's nothing against the red panda. If he was out and partying all the time, he'd be one of the tops. Trust me, he'd be top 3. All right, your next honorable mention, Mike.
Goats.
Goats.
Random one. Random, I know, but again, goats you can interact with. It's really it's a Pennsylvania zoo, but they have like this area where you could go in and you feed the goats, and kids love it. I mean, kids absolutely love it. But yeah, the goats are a lot of fun because they love it. I mean,
can't wait for your daughter to be old enough to interact with some goat action.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
She's gonna be over there with some goat feed, just hand up that goat, getting its weird little goat tongue out, going just picking those things up.
Goat's gonna come in from the side and ram her or something. Oh gosh.
Some of them have some really weird eyes too. Those goats.
Yeah, they do.
Like they are some bizarre looking little creatures. But
yeah, they are.
Anyways, my last honorable mention, Mike, gorillas. Now, let's be honest. They're super impressive, but for me, they're just a little too close to humans, and that scares the shit out of me. Like I see them, and I'm just like, that's sort of a person almost, and like it makes me sad a little bit that I see them stuck in there, and then like they seem like they're just sitting there thinking like, how can I murder all of these people outside of this glass? Because I'm really upset that I'm in here. Like, if you ever see some of those sometimes where they just are like sitting there and then all of a sudden they decide to just pound the glass and you're like, oh God. Like, gorillas, like, they don't get me wrong. I respect them and they look super awesome and they're super cool. I don't like to see them in a zoo.
Yeah, no.
They make me a little sad in a zoo.
Yeah, it is.
Same thing with chimpanzees. They just seem like they seem like they're wasting their talent. You know, you're just like, I mean, I feel like that to all animals to a degree, but those guys, since they're just so smart, you're just like, Anyways, Mike, your last honorable mention.
Yeah. And then this goes for all of the animals that I have on my list, which is that the zoo is kind of a place where it's like, oh man, this is really sad that all these animals are in here in a way. Spiders, not so much. Huge, there's some animals where I'm like, oh, they love this. I'm sure it's fine, But yeah, we're just assuming for all of the animals that I have on my list that they absolutely enjoy their enclosures.
Okay.
They love being at the zoo.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, hippos. And I think I've only seen them at Animal Kingdom, but man, they're pretty cool to see. And they're in the
pretty wild
aquarium.
Pretty huge.
Yeah, they're massive. And then the fact that they like kill the most people of all the
I will say this, Mike, not to get into a philosophical debate about zoos, but I will say, like, for anybody that's thinking, and I mean, I am, like you said, I'm sort of in the same group thinking like, oh, that's sad, they're in there. But you also do have to think about, if they're out in nature, there is a high probability they are going to die. That's what nature is all about. Like, it will kill you. And a high percentage of those things would be dead. And I think most of them would tell you, you know what? I'd probably rather be in here. Like, I mean, there's a reason why all animals try to get in your house. When you look at spiders and lizards and everything that comes in your house, they come into your house because they're like, hey, it's safe in here and it's temperature controlled. This is awesome. So like, yeah.
They just don't have the outside perspective, though.
They would like the free will, The free will is what they need. Anyways.
Yeah.
Philosophical debate aside, Mike, my top 3. Number 3. Lemurs.
Lemurs, yeah.
Love lemurs.
They look like they're having a good time.
That's those little creatures. They're basically monkeys except goofier, and they just make me happy. And I mean the whole cartoon, Madagascar's, the whole the whole great part about it is the lemurs. I mean, that's the best part of that movie, and that's the best part. No offense to anything on Madagascar, but that's the best thing about Madagascar. They have lemurs. That's the only place lemurs are, and they're just they're kooky. Ring-tailed lemurs, the little mouse lemurs. There's all kinds. They've got those big old eyes, and you can go to like places like what is it? Monkey Island in Miami, and you can feed them. And it's awesome. You can feed them grapes, and they take their little human hands, and they grab the grape, and they're like,
They're very proportionate, those little
yeah.
lemurs.
Yeah, I love their little teeny hands. They're just little teeny human hands. It's like
They are human hands, man. They
it's
really
essentially
do.
you're like your daughter's hand, except just a little like formed more.
Yeah.
Like and they're just so they're kooky. They're kooky.
Yeah, they are.
One of my friends, she has her picture on her iPhone is a lemur sitting on her shoulder taking a grape from her, and just it's pretty awesome. Mike, you're number 3.
Number 3, polar bears.
Say what?
You don't see them very often, but man, they're pretty cool when you do. They're very impressive, especially again if it's like underwater situation, you see them dive in. And
they're weird when you think about it too. Like I mean, they're just so unique. Like you said, like they're such swimmers. They've got webbed paws. They're such swimmers. They're in ice cold water all the time. Like it's wild.
And they're so dangerous.
They love Coca-Cola, drinking it all the time.
They do.
That's what's leading to their extinction. Too much Coke. Obesity, everyone. Not really.
Yeah.
Their habitat is being destroyed. It's melting. That's why they're going extinct, everyone. And that's why you find them in just random towns in Canada. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I used to be out on ice. Now I'm in the middle of a town. This is weird. But anywho, Mike, they are very, very cool to watch.
Very impressive.
Number 2, for me, tigers. Tigers are amazing. They're just, as we mentioned before in many other countdowns, Mike, tigers to me are just like the ultimate predator. They are so intense. They, to me, are the king of the jungle. Over lions, they are the king of the jungle because they literally live in jungles. Lions do not live in jungles. And they're just, I mean, they're so beautiful, too. Those stripes, like, it's just so, like, such a beautiful pattern. You see them up close, and you see one of those paws, and that paw is, like, literally way bigger than, like, a frying pan. And you're just like, Jesus, that is crazy. But, I literally, the last time I went to a zoo, Mike, which was a while back, it was like 5 years ago, I looked at the tigers for like an hour. Like, I just stood at their exhibit just being like, wow, cool. They're awesome, Mike. Number 2.
They are. And they're usually active, too. They're
stomping around.
Much more active than the lions.
They like to get their territory. That's the thing, is they usually stomp out their territory in nature. And so what they're doing is they'll pace around like the whole exhibit being like, this is my territory. Don't come in here. Like, it's pretty awesome. Anyways, Mike, you're number 2.
My number 2, I guess this is a zoo, aquarium. Whales. Super controversial, but again, we're assuming that they like where they are, but whales are so cool to see.
Have you been to the Atlanta Aquarium, Mike?
I did, and I did see that
the massive whale sharks.
Yeah, and one of them passed away too recently.
It's pretty wild, though, to be in that little tube there in the Atlanta Aquarium and just watch them go over you, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They're massive creatures. It's crazy. Only in Atlanta do they get a whale shark. I mean, literally only in Atlanta.
Yeah. And and again, it's a fairly confined space, but you got to give it up. That's a pretty huge aquarium.
It's a massive aquarium, yeah.
Like it's wild, and there's so many other things in there. It's you can sit in that tube for like an hour and a half, just just gazing. It's wild. It's wild. Okay, Mike, my number one, pandas.
Pandas.
Giant pandas, man. They're so fun. As you know, they've just got the best attitude, and their attitude is who gives a shit? Let's party. That's their attitude, man. They like, if you find them now. Granted, every now and then they'll be in a semi-sleeping state, but usually they're just like rolling down hills, eating bamboo, getting crazy, trying to get on their little tire swing, like just doing all kinds of banana stuff. And they're just big, lovable goobers, man.
Yeah. Panda behavior is the best.
I would love to go in there and just start wrestling with those fellas. And unlike a regular bear, I don't think I'd be too frightened, honestly.
No,
I mean,
well, they can get pretty feisty.
I'm sure they can, but I feel like I could take it. If we got into a real fight, and I don't think I'd get into a real fight, because the panda would be like, this guy, this joker. Like, it just, pandas. They're fantastic.
Yeah, pandas
they're absolutely
are pretty awesome.
fantastic.
But do we have pandas still?
Yeah,
Or-
we solved the problem, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Like, we have new leases on pandas from China.
Okay.
So we still have pandas.
Thank you, China. Appreciate you. Thank you for the pandas again.
I don't think there's any hope of me actually getting a panda as a pet, but at least I can see him somewhere. Anyways, Mike, you're number one.
Yeah, my number one. I mean, you mentioned both, but I just said in general, big cats.
Yes.
I like tigers, lions, snow leopards.
I should have
have
put snow leopards somewhere on the list, because snow leopards are like my favorite big cat. I don't know. It's too hard to say, but I love snow leopards.
Yeah.
They're just, especially if they have kittens. Oh my gosh, those kittens are the cutest thing ever.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
are.
little teeny bright blue eyes, just bouncing around all over the place with their big old tail and their big old feet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They I would say they exhibit like the most regular
Cat-like.
cat behavior. Yeah. And they're bouncing around with their big old balls. They're rolling on their back, kicking things. Like, every now and then a tiger will get a fit like that where they'll turn into a small cat. But like those snow leopards, they seem to just sort of stay in that mentality most of the time. Probably because they're like, thank God we're not in snow right now. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Suck being up on the top of that mountain in a blizzard. Jeez. But anyways, Mike, fantastic. Big cats, I agree, totally. Mike, what's our top 3 for next week?
Next week, so I think we've gone through your list of top threes.
I'm gonna have to make some more.
Yeah, if you got some ideas, shoot them over. But I was gonna go with most, or I would say best, like, movie character outfits.
It's pretty
And it
broad.
could be any. It doesn't have to be a superhero. It can be a superhero, but like movie, like character outfits. Top 3 movie character outfits?
Okay. I feel this is too broad.
There's a lot. No, I mean, you could go Willy Wonka. I mean, that's like an example of great outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, listeners, come up with your 3 outfits.
Word.
I'm gonna
I
have
have to do a little research on this one.
3 outfits. Okay. All right. Okay, Mike. We have 2 birthday suits left.
Not also really. Not. It doesn't have to be a movie. It can be a show too. So any kind of character outfits.
Okay.
Character outfits. Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's in sort of popular culture, as far as I mean, not real life, but show, web series, movie, anything on those. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, we have 2 birthday suits. I'm not sure that you'll get either. One is a president, so that's already scary. And then 2 is a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to go with first?
Let's go with the fashion designer. Hopefully I get that. And then I feel confident to hopefully not miss the president, but I'm probably going to. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so our fashion designer here, born. Hold on, let me move this real quick here. Born on August 27th, 1961 in Austin, Texas. Our birthday suit wearer moved to New York City to start studying art history at NYU, but he dropped out and decided to study interior architecture instead. He started working for Gucci in 1990, then Yves Saint Laurent in 1999, and then in 2004, he made his own fashion brand with his name. The label has been extremely popular with fashion and beauty products. I have at least 3 of his colognes, and we've talked about them on the show. He's also been mentioned in several popular songs. Jay-Z has an entire song named after him, and Drake has a song named after one of his fragrances, Tuscan Leather. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Nope.
No?
Got the first name right.
Man.
Think car company, Mike.
Tom Ford.
Tom Ford is correct. Yes. The old TF, Mike. I've got 3 different colognes, and one of them is my favorite. I don't even know how to pronounce it because it's some kind of fancy Italian name. But that one smells delightful, Mike. And then you got ombre leather. You got Tuscan leather. Oh, they're divine, Mike. They're divine. They smell delightful. Now, do I have any Tom Ford clothes? No. It's too expensive, and I don't really need them. I'm not fancy enough, Mike.
No.
But, they look nice. Justin Timberlake seems to like them. All kinds of the hip-hop artists love them. But, I'm not gonna spend that much. I don't have that much. Now, to smell good, I'll smell good, though, for a lot. I'll do that, Mike. Because, let's be honest, love comes in through the nose, okay? Comes in through the nose.
Huh?
For sure.
That's not an advertisement for sticking your there, okay?
I want to smell some Tom Ford colognes. I don't know if I've ever smelled a Tom Ford cologne.
You need to get into it, Mike.
Yeah.
You need to get into it. They make some good ones. Now, Mike, okay, let's tear this Band-Aid off of this last one here. Let's do this here. Born on August 27th, 1908 in Stonewall, Texas. Our birthday suit wearer went on. By the way, that should be a giveaway as far as Texas. Our birthday went on to be the 36th president of the United States after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. He was John F. Kennedy's vice president. While in office, he passed more legislation under his Great Society program than any other president. Under his leadership, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1968, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Social Security Amendments of 1965, the Higher Education Act of 1965, which have all been bedrock acts of legislation for the American society for the last 60 years. Now they're being torn down by our current administration. Anywho, his presidency was always seen as extremely flawed because of the Vietnam War, but his legislation was some of the best in American history. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Was it Lyndon Johnson?
Yes, Mike got it.
Thank God.
All right.
Oh, thank God.
Nicely done, Mike. You have proved your history knowledge. Well done, LBJ. LBJ. You know, one of the interesting things about LBJ, Mike, his wife. Do you know his wife's name?
No.
It's a real weird one, Mike. His wife's name is Lady Bird. Yeah, real bizarre. Lady Bird Johnson. And just a fun fact, I didn't know this until I was looking up the old info about Lyndon B. Johnson. 26 years younger than Lyndon B. Johnson. Lady Bird was. A bit of an age difference there.
A little bit.
A little bit. Anywho, happy birthday to Lyndon B. Johnson. LBJ, as they called him, Mike. LBJ. If you ever have any time and you're in Austin, Texas, hit up the old LBJ Library and Museum. It's there. It's nice.
Okay.
Also, happy birthday, of course, to Pee Wee Herman. Happy birthday to Tom Ford. Mike, we need to wrap it up for this week. I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus. Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.